Hello, welcome to Look Like Me, an Erasmus Plus project funded by the European Commission. In this chapter, we will talk about promise and deliver to prevent potential problems that gender discrimination can cause from an early age. Everyone has at some point made a promise to somebody else. Some people may not take these promises very seriously. This can lead to negative outcomes in any relationship. Every word we say has a meaning and a value. So, what does it mean to keep a promise? And why is it important to keep them? Promising something, thus giving your word, will leave people in an expectation, which has both positive and negative consequences. Imagine if someone promised you to meet up and hang out at a certain time. You're excited about it, which leaves you with expectations for the time you will spend together, right? So when you go back home that day, you plan what you want to wear and what you would like to do some hours ahead. But when the time approaches, imagine that the plans have changed at the last minute and you actually have an expectation for nothing. Naturally, you would feel heartbroken. Unfulfilled expectations lead to disappointment in others, and disappointment is a powerful emotion. When someone is disappointed and resents you, it may have more impact than getting angry, talking loudly, and putting their emotions out. It can make anyone feel hurt. Therefore, we need to think about the other person. The promises we make are actually the assurance of the value we give to the other person. The reason that we do not trust in ourselves may be related to the fact that we do not keep our promises to ourselves. Yes, maybe one of the reasons that we have self confidence issues is that we do not keep our promises to ourselves, which can highly affect our self confidence. Aside from the promises we make to the others, the promises we make to ourselves are equally important for our communication with our environment. After all, we're the most important thing that affects ourselves. When you think about it, how many of the promises we make to ourselves do we stick to? As a result of our failure to keep our promises, something inside us breaks. And even more, our belief and confidence in ourselves are seriously damaged. For example, let's say you make a promise to yourself and go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier for a healthier and a happier life. From now on, if you stand behind your promise and start to adjust your bedtimes as you say, what will you get? Satisfaction. On the contrary, not keeping the words you gave to yourself, consciously or unconsciously, will result in disappointment, resentment, and loss of self confidence. At many points in your life, this may show up and show its effects. Also, as a result, it is possible that your motivation will decrease significantly and the fear of failure will envelop you. In line with the decrease in your motivation and the increased fear of failure, it becomes inevitable that every area of your life, from your business life to your private life, will be negatively affected. The value we give to ourselves is like the mirror reflection of the value we give to the others. Feeling valued is something we all like to feel, and this is entirely in our own hands. That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening to Look Like Me podcast, and stay tuned for our next chapters.